I've been pranked. My beacons are all red. Yeah, so that's happened. Let's go ahead and fix this so I can focus and get to my video. Yep, gonna do that. This is fun. I bet you can guess. If you can't, that's okay too. By the color scheme, who pranked my base? Yes, that's right. It's Mr. Fitz, because he's the only one who has the red color that would mess with my beacons like this. All right, so let's go ahead and fix this, and then we can get started with another exciting episode today. Today we're going to be working on a... Oh no. Did he do it all the way down there? No, please no. Yep, he did it all the way down here at the very bottom. Yeah, thanks. Oh man, that's fun. Yeah, but today, in today's episode, we're gonna be working on, and I did shut off the audio, by the way, for the glass breaking sound, because I know how horrible that sound is. But today we're gonna be working on a tree farm, a furnace array, a storage system, and some other little farms along the way. So definitely gonna be a good little video with lots of cool things that we're gonna be working on today. And so that is gonna be awesome. And apparently I cannot do two things at once. Okay, that's much better. All right, and then on stream we have been working a little bit on upgrading our villager house, and so that is being done as well. So we're getting closer to our big build of the season, which will hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, I should be starting the season-long build next episode. So start working on not necessarily a mega base, but a season-long build. I'll kind of explain more in the next episode. I've been planning and working on this already a little bit. I just haven't showed it in a stream or in a video, but I am very excited about that. And so we're getting closer to our season starting base, and then we will, okay, now this one I know because I did this on a stream with Mr. Fitz, but if you look at the very bottom of this build, he has actually punched a hole into the void. So let's go down here, because we're gonna have to anyways to get rid. Oh my word, did he knows how much I hate flying like this. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh no. He went like in layers. Oh, like partially way down. It's like a staircase. Okay, is that all of them for that one? Okay. I think we still have some more we have to get. Hold on, let's see. Yep, there's that one right there. Okay, did I get it all the way up? Let's see here. Anyway, this is a room that he made that goes directly into the void. So I'm not gonna fall into that right now at the moment, but I did want to show that to you at least. And let's see if we got all of them. Apparently we did not. Okay. I hate flying like this. Okay. Let's see. It just keeps going. Oh, this is so good. Oh, I will pay him back. No! Oh, man. I fell. Oh, Oh, no, 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 no. I need to eat. Oh, yeah, this is a way to start an episode right here. Oh, at least I landed that. Let's get some more rockets out. Is this the last one? Please be the last one. Okay, I think that is the last one. That was so good. We're gonna have to pay him back for that because that was super good. Also super annoying. All right, everything is right with the beacon world again, and now we have our lemon beacons around the base. Perfect. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our different tree farms. So let's jump right into those clips. There is gonna be some time lapses for the builds as well, but this was driving me insane and I needed to fix it, but I also needed to put it on a video because there will be payback for this. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump right into the clips. One of the things that I'm really quite tired of doing is farming wood. I know, I can keep doing it, but if there's a farm for it, I want to try and create it. So the first one I'm going to actually work on is a unique one in that it is not a regular wood farm, but I want to do a mangrove farm. So this little area right next to the moss farm and across from my base area over there is going to be my mangrove farm and Propagule farm. So that's the first thing I'm going to work on. And then beyond that, I'm going to work on a actual tree farm that will also be in this area as well. So I wanted to show you this is where it's going to be. And then now we will jump into the completed process or a time lapse, hopefully a time lapse, but if it doesn't work, the completed building for sure. So wanted to show you that's the next plan is to work on some wood farms so I can get all the different types of wood except for maybe dark oak. So that way we can go ahead and have farms for those. So that way when I get into my build stage, if I ever need mangrove wood or something along those lines, I can definitely have that most readily and easily available for me. So that's going to be the next farm. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, and the first farm is all complete, and that is the Propagule farm. So let's go over here and go up my makeshift terrible ladder and turn this on right over here. And as you should be able to see, yeah, look at that. Look at all those Propagules flowing out of there. So right here we have the Propagules being bone meal from the top and the bottom. So it's dispensing bone meal at the top. And it's also dispensing bone meal at the bottom. The top one grows the Propagule on the actual leaves themselves. The bottom one goes ahead and bone meals that Propagule to grow the full growth. And then once that's triggered, it'll dispense the sticky piston with the honey block, and that will push those off of the leaves, allowing another one to grow in its place. And man, this is awesome. Let's look and see how many we already have. Yeah, we're already at about a stack and a half just for running this for a few seconds. I will need to go ahead and put, ooh, it looks like we're getting some loss, but I'll figure that out in just a moment. But I will need to go ahead and put some extra bone meal in here. I just wanted to run it first to see how it works, and then we will go ahead and do that as well. But it looks like we are getting some loss right here, so maybe putting some extra blocks on the back here might also be prudent. But anyway, yeah, that's the bone meal Propagule farm running. And then let's go ahead and work next on the mangrove farm after we let this run for a little bit of time. And this is the Mangrove Farm all completed. As you can tell, I ran it for a little bit just to make sure that it was working, and it worked like a charm. So let me go ahead and show you how to operate this thing. First, you got to come over here. You got to turn on this lever. You got to make sure your inventory is full, otherwise it won't really work well. So I just did that. And then you come over here and you wait for that to start priming. As I'm planting, the bone meal is shutting on and off as soon as the target blocks of the mangrove meal reach a certain point. And then that drops the TNT, and that drops it on 2 different levels. So you've got both a high level and a low level, so it breaks up the wood in both high and low levels, just depending on where it's grown. It does have a shulker unloader for the bone meal, so that's constantly dispensing bone meal. I'm trying to stay far away from it so you don't hear the constant TNT blast, but let's now go close. There's a collection system where all the drops that drop into here are then dropped into this water stream, and then they're picked up and dropped into the storage chest. So just for running for a little while, I have 27, 85, 523, and 380 mangrove wood. So it does very, very well. And then I did use the Propagule dispenser thing to go ahead and fill up the Propagules so I'll never run out. And I did create a little bone meal system right over here where I drop the bones from my mob farm into a shulker loader, so then I can drop it into the shulker unloader. Again, trying to stay away from the TNT noises just for a minute to show you all of this, but it is super, super awesome. I may end up just go ahead and pulling out the TNT noises altogether in the post edit. We'll see. But yeah, definitely awesome, and working very, very well already. And so this is going to be perfect for what we need for our propagule or for our mangrove wood. Now, the next farm we worked on was actually this tree farm, and I did go ahead and put some crying obsidian around it, even though the farm didn't technically call for the crying obsidian or obsidian in general, just because I had some trees growing outside of the region that they were supposed to, and I was losing some drops. But this is an Ian XO4 tree farm. Let's go ahead and jump into the time-lapse build for this farm, and then right after we're done, I'll show you how it works. All right, so basically you can turn on that switch. There is a level where it can differentiate where the TNT blast. So there's these 2 different spots right here that it can blast. One is the upper, one is the lower. I went ahead and turned on both the tall tree for this one, so that can do like jungle, it can do acacia, it can do pretty much all wood types except for 2x2, so that would be like dark oak. Other than that, you can even do the nether wood types as well, like the crimson and the So it can do all of those. So how this kind of works is I just turn on this right here, and this will drop bone meal to fill up my inventory with it. And then I can go ahead and point myself right here, and that will bone meal and plant the tree and bone meal that. And then it'll break it down with the TNT from the TNT duper above, and that'll drop it into this chamber. That will then collect the items that are dropped through this water stream, and it passes this water stream right by me, the player who's using the farm, and that will help me to pick up all of the saplings as I need them, and then take the rest of the items and drop them into these chests right here. So as you can see, it's collecting the items and it's dropping it in the chest. Then the bone meal, it refills my inventory, and then it sits on this pressure plate, causing that to shut off until I need it again, and then it starts refilling my inventory once again. And so I never go without it. So this is fully AFKable, and as long as I stand behind this, I'll be all right as far as like safety is concerned. And the crying obsidian just helps it. As you can see, it stopped it from growing over the area where the water stream is, so I don't lose any in the blast chamber. The other thing over here is there is another system to drop the saplings in. That's mostly because the nether tree saplings aren't as renewable, and so over here I've got this machine where I can plant the nylium, and I can turn this on, and there's bone meal right underneath this in a dispenser. You can kind of see it on the top of the screen, but that bone meal is then dispensed and it moves it back and forth, and I can collect all the fungus and the warp fungus and all that stuff, so I can use it for as saplings for this farm. So that's how I renew the saplings for this blast chamber for those tree types. I did shut off the sound because the blast can get quite loud and obnoxious, just to show you the farm. But yes, it is fully operational, and I have used it to get a shulker of each different wood type, and so that's been super good to use. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off and put the bone meal back in place, so that way I can pick up the rest of the bone meal. There we go. And then I just fill my inventory with supplies. But this is an ENX04, and all I've done is added on the chamber around it so that I can protect all the drops for this farm. So let me just go ahead and shut that off, and we've got to give it a minute to just shut off the TNT duper, and it will explode the last one in that water chamber right up here. But yeah, that's the farm to the extreme, or to the fullest extent of it. Next, I want to show you what took me several streams to build and a good bit of time to build, and that is the kelp farm. This kelp farm is super awesome, and let's go ahead and do this. Let's jump into some time lapses, and then right after the time lapse video, I'll explain how this operates, because you've got to see how this water stream was created and how it was built, because it took ages to build, simply because of all the scaffolding, all the glass, and just the sheer size of it. I think this is like 80 by 40 by 20 or something crazy like that. And so definitely took a good bit. So let's jump into a time lapse, and then right after the time lapse, I'll show you how this thing operates. All right, wasn't that fun to watch the water stream? Well, this is how the kelp farm operates. Basically, as the kelp is growing, it grows on top of scaffolding. And the scaffolding is allowing the kelp to grow, but it's also allowing it to be pushed through the scaffolding up to the top layer, as you can see where some of that is just now popping through, and it's dropping it into a water stream. This is all for dried kelp so that I can get my furnace array fueled, which I'll show you in just a moment. But as this is harvesting it, it's waiting for the second block to grow. So you may see some of it just kind of chilling up above the kelp. It looks like all these are grown, so I can't really show you. May see some of it floating and just kind of like slowly going up, and you may see some getting stuck. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Like right there, it's kind of looks like it's gotten stuck. But as soon as one of these grows to a second level, it creates what's called a source block, a water source block. And that water source block will then take this kelp and will push it up through the scaffolding all the way up to the surface and into these water streams. All these water streams lead to the same area, and they lead to the smokers up above. And so it'll drop it in a hopper, which will fill the smokers, and then it will then smoke it. That is then dropped into a hopper line, which is dropped into this crafter here. And this crafter is getting the 9 dried kelp and making it into a dried kelp block. First, the dried kelp block will go back into the smokers to refill the smokers and refuel the smokers so that they can keep operating self-sufficiently. After that, it then drops into a water stream down below, and this water stream will carry the remaining dried kelp into a shulker loader just down here. And as you can see, we have 9 from the AFK session I did last night, and then we have a total of 23 already in these system for these smelter. So yeah, that's kind of the kelp farm. It did take a good bit of time to do, but I'm glad I got it because this will fuel the furnace array, and you'll see why we needed this much kelp with the furnace array next. I'll go ahead and show you that so you can see it. Mr. Fitz on a stream built out this super smelter, kind of like surface level way to drop in items into the super smelter down below. So right here we have our fuel input chest right there, and here we have our input chest for the furnace array and then what it outputs. I'm going to go ahead and drop a shulker of sand in so you can see how this works. So the shulker of sand is dropped into a shulker unloader, and that shulker unloader is now going to fill the fill the furnace array with all the sand. So as you can see, it's an 8 times shulker unloader, and that's unloading that into the furnace array. The furnace array is then dropping that using a dropper rail system into all of these different furnaces, and it's smelting all of that sand. As it's done smelting the sand, it drops it through this dropper into this water stream over here, and then that water stream is crafting and dropping it into a shulker loader right here. So we can see right here we've got the 85 glass. It'll fill that all the way up until the is completed. Then it'll drop it into this water stream right here, which will carry it back out to the output chest. And so it's really fun to watch this thing actually operate because you can see how quickly it's doing it. And this is just gathering it in the stacks to make it faster when it unloads. Or loads it into that shulker loader. So I did a test with this whole system, and I could smelt about 12 shulkers in about 30 minutes. So 12 shulkers of items in about 30 minutes. That's a lot of items. So this thing is blazing fast, especially when it comes to streams, and even it can do both individual items and shulkers, but for fuel's sake we usually try to smelt about a shulker of items each time we run it. And then this is hooked up to a chunk loader, because if it were to unload, it could break the farm, so or the system. So we went ahead and hooked it up to or Mr. Fitz hooked it up to a chunk loader, and this chunk loader is constantly running while the farm is running, and so it keeps it going and operating well. And so, yeah, that's the Super Smelter. You don't really see this downstairs part because all we do is put it in up there. So this is just a carved out space where we can utilize this farm. But it's definitely the best, and I definitely love and appreciate it, and that's why we needed so much fuel. Mr. Fitz had been using blaze rods, and so we are getting close, I believe, to running out. Yeah, we have about 5 shulkers left of blaze rods, and so now we're going to get ready to switch into the dried kelp. Like, as an example, when we first finished building this super smelter, we had about 8 it took about an hour just to fill the fuel for this thing. So while it smelts the items, like you're talking, you have to fill each hopper, you have to fill each smelter, everything like that. So when we do get through the blaze rods, there's going to be a bit of a transition to that dried kelp, but that'll help him not have to AFK the blaze farm all the time, and it'll give us an opportunity to have a better fuel source that can smelt more items, and it does it super quickly. Once all the items are smelted and that shulker is full, at the very last one it'll do a countdown, and then it'll break and spit this shulker out into the output chest up above. And so it does that super quickly. It looks like it's all done. It's just filling up that shulker now. And then this machine over here kind of crafts the shulker shells. You can see right there. So it's being fed all the chests and all the shulker shells and into that crafter, and it's crafting new shulker shells. But then the old ones that we put into the chest are also being broken and fed back to us through a separate water stream. So yeah, and then this you can see is kind of a little countdown. So I believe we have 10 seconds until that's completed, and then it'll send that back up. If we're doing multiple items, then it would have already just sent that shulker up, but since we're only doing one shulker of items, it hasn't pushed this one out, and it will at the last minute and replace the shulker. It's just kind of the way it operates, but that'll also keep the chunk loader active, which is what we want. Next, I'll show you the storage sorting system that Mr. Fitz and I have been working on as well, and all the progress we've made on that. We decided to combine storages and build this super smelter together just because we were already sharing a lot of the farms that we were working on. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show you the storage sorting system next that we've been working on developing. Underground and right next to the super smelter, which is right over there, we have built our storage sorting system. And so all you have to do is input items into this chest right here, and what it'll do is it'll take all those items and it will push them through the storage sorting system. So it starts right here with the bulk items. These are the items like your sand, your stone, your coal, your cobblestone, all those items that we have a good bit of. And that's going to be the bulk storage. That's going to be the one that's unloaded first. Then this system gets sent to a minecart system, and that minecart is filled up and it runs through and it unloads it all into the different storage. And as you can see, that redstone lamp just lit up, so that means that the deep slate that I just put in there was sorted into this chest. It goes around and we've got our little sorting. This took Mr. Fitz and I a while, Mr. Fitz more than myself, but you've got all the different chests with all the different items like stair blocks, and he took a while to go ahead and fill all these in. And once he filled all these in place, it can now drop the items respectively into those chests. and those chests will fill up the storage sorting down below. Once all those items are sorted through, any items that wouldn't have a sorting category, like these right here, are then put in the unsorted category. And then we've also got a unstackable category right here. If we wanted to load all these into a shulker because these chests were getting too full or too out of hand, we could input all of that into there, and then we can shulker load it and then drop it back into the chest, and it does it all for us. Unloaded shulker boxes, so we can fill this with just individual items, or we can fill this with shulker boxes, and it'll unload the shulker boxes and it'll drop them back into here. So yeah, that's kind of the storage system. And then what Mr. Fitz is working on is right back here, and that is the water stream system. So he's going to take all of these items that are sorted in here, and he's going to bring those back up to the surface. So kind of like what he did with the furnace array, he's also going to do with the storage system, where he's going to create different buildings. So like, for example, this is going to be our oak building where all our oak wood items are going to be stored, jungle and birch and so on. And so all of the wood types, are all 11 of them, are going to be sorted out in this little section over here and divided up. And so if we need like dark oak, we can go to this over here. If we need bamboo or acacia, we can go to these buildings right over here. And so he's working on creating water streams for all of the systems, so that way we can have that available to us if we needed to easily grab it. So yeah, that's going to be nice, sharing a storage system with him and having all these different buildings and different options. This is his season-long project, so he's going to be working on this for the rest of the season. I am not going to be necessarily helping him with this part of it because this is his project that he's working on. I'm going to be working on my own big project, and why I've been gathering all these blocks. Let me go ahead and hide in here because those phantoms can get super annoying. And let me sleep for a minute. And yeah, so this is going to be his season-long project, not necessarily mine. I've got some other plans, but we wanted to collaborate because we both have a good bit of the farms. And so instead of building duplicates, why not just build it together? I'll link the, this is called the recategorizer storage system. It was not invented by me and Mr. Fitz. It was invented by somebody else. So I'll go ahead and link that on top of all the other farms that I've showed you today in the description below. These are not original to me. These are made by much smarter men than I. And so they definitely have, I've just maybe tweaked them slightly to make them work for me. But the farms themselves, I'll link all in the description below, so that way you can see. And if you want to build it or get a tutorial on it, you can definitely do that. I just wanted to show you the progress that we've made on the Limitless SMP and show you all the farms that I've built and all their different uses. And so now that those are all done, we'll go ahead and move on to our next big project, which is probably going to be a house for the villagers. They really need their own home. Maybe even we'll start the season-long project, and I'm excited to share that with you. So you'll have to tune into the next video and see that. If you haven't already, would you consider subscribing? I am at 32 subscribers, but I get an average of like anywhere from 30 to 100 views on each video. So I would definitely appreciate it if you were to consider subscribing, so that way, and hitting that notification bell, so that way you never miss a single video. Also, if you would you consider just going over to Twitch and following me on Twitch? I'm at LemonIRL_games, and I'll go ahead and link that in the video description as well. But that would greatly help me. I'm getting really close to affiliate, which means that I can add in content creator integration from the server, and that allows me to be able to do fun things on streams, like you can spawn zombies on me or drop potions of poison or healing or whatever you want to. And so that would really help me out a good deal. And it allows me to you to accrue channel points as a viewer. And so I'm getting close. I'm 4 followers away on Twitch from getting affiliate. That's the only thing I need. And so if you would consider following me over there or subscribing to the YouTube page as well. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed. We've made a lot of big progress on the Limitless SMP between me and Mr. Fitz, and so I'm excited to see all the progress that we've made. Eventually, sometime soon, we're going to have to do a base tour of all the different bases that we have around the server and show you all the progress that everybody else has made. But for now, this is the progress that Mr. Fitz and I have made in collaboration, and Minnie has also been a huge part in contributing to all of these things. Minnie is my cast member is what we call him, but also my brother, and so he has been working diligently, and so we've got some cool progress to show you with some of the stuff he's been working on as well. So for sure, a huge part in all of this. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.